My initial idea was to make this dress a sleeveless dress, but then I changed my mind and decided to add cap sleeves. So at the beginning of this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a sleeveless adjustment. So it's like a bonus for you. You need to do this adjustment whenever you want to make a sleeveless dress or a sleeveless top. So I'm going to show you that and then we'll start drafting our dress. We have our dress block traced out on our pattern paper. So the first thing I want to do is that I'm going to do my sleeveless adjustment. So to do my sleeveless adjustment, I'm going to come in by half an inch and go up by half an inch. So I'll just mark half an inch in, half an inch up. So I'll connect this half an inch to my waistline while also sorry, I'll connect the half an inch where the half an inch meets here. So I'm going to go from here down to the waistline. Okay, and then this, we no longer need this. And then I'll connect this to my armhole notch here. So I'm just going to use my curve ruler, see if I can use my curve ruler to do that. If not, I'll just use my hand, sorry. I've done my sleeveless adjustment here, so we no longer need this line. I've done my sleeveless adjustment. The next thing we're going to do is that I'm going to extend my dart all the way to my M line. So the center of my dart, this is a 1.5 inch dart. So I'm just going to find the center of that, which is 3/4. That's the center of my dart, and I'm just going to extend the line all the way to my hip line. Of course, I'm going to use this ruler to help me. So that line is about 4.5 inch, just to make sure my line is straight at the M. I'm going to mark 4.5 inch at the M and then extend the line from there to from the end of my dart to my M line. So from the end of my dart to my M line. Okay. All right. So I've connected that end to my M line. I've drawn out that line. Because this is a paneled dress, our front is going to have 3 different panels. So our center front and our side seam. Our side seam would be cut too. So we're going to be cutting 2 pieces on our side seam and then 1 front. Altogether is going to be 3 different panels. Okay. So I want the M line to be flared. So I'm going to add 4 inches on the M line, 4 inches. So let's start working on our center front panel. So I'm going to add 4 inches, like I said, to my M line. So I'm just going to mark 4 inches this way, 4 inches this way, and then 4 inches that way. That would complete our 3 different panels. Yes. So I'm going to mark 4 inches this way and 4 inches this way. And 4 inches this way from the side seam out, 4 inches. But like I said, we're going to start working on our center front panel. I just wanted to mark all the 4 inches out. Okay. So let's start working on our center front panel. I've marked out from this line, I've marked out 4 inches. So I'm going to connect this line to the waistline here, the dart, around the dart area, all the way down. So the waistline on the dart to this line here. All right, so I've extended my front panel by 4 inches out. So this would be our front panel. Just follow me. This would be our front panel going like this into that line like this, all the way to the neckline there, like this, like that. That would be our front panel. So let's move to the side panels. So I came out on the side seam by 4 inches, and I came out from this side to this side by 4 inches. So all I'm just going to do is that from the waistline on my side seam, I'm going to connect it to the 4 inches down there. I've marked out the side seam. I'm going to do the same thing from this other dart line, connect it to the 4-inch mark there. So like this, it would all make sense soon. All right, so we've drawn out our side seam panels. We've extended it, like we've brought out the flay. The next thing I want us to do is to make sure that the flays we came out by are at a right angle or a 45-degree angle. So how do I do that? I take my ruler, and then one of the lines, any of these visible lines, I'm going to match it to the line like this, and just make sure it's on a 45-degree angle. So like this, and it's not a sharp angle. It's not the angle because by the time we sew it to the side seam, so it doesn't leave a sharp end. That's why we're doing that. The next one, I'll do it on this side. 45-degree, angle my ruler like this. Remember, I'm matching the line on my ruler to the line. See if it's, and then place it on the 45-degree angle and mark it out like this. Do the same thing on this side. In the final panel. And there you have it, like this. And then we're almost done. I just want to make sure that these dart points here are not pointed. I don't want sharp points on my dress. So I'm just going to create like a gentle curve using my ruler. So gentle curve this way, just gentle, and still trying to stay on the dart line. Just trying to curve it a little bit. See, changing it from pointed to curved, but a slight curve, right? After doing that, I also want to do my neckline. I forgot to do that. So my neckline, I don't want it to be this tiny. I want to go deeper. So I'm going to go down more by, let's say, 3 inches, or let's say 3.5 inches actually. 3.5 inches. I'll angle my ruler like this, and then I'll connect that to my shoulder point. Use my French curve to do that. That is our paneled dress. I'll do the same thing on our back. I'll trace out all the pattern pieces on our pattern paper, add my allowances. My side seam allowance is going to be 1.5, and then the allowances I will add on the panel seams would be 0.5 inch. Obviously no allowance on the center front, but on the center back we're going to be adding our zipper extension allowance. On the shoulder, 0.5 inch. On the armhole, 0.5 inch. On the neckline, 0.5 inch. and then we'll get sewing together. I missed a design detail. I want this dress to have a pocket, so we are going to draft the pocket now. I'm going to show you how to draft the pocket. The first thing is, I don't want my pocket to be on my hip line. I want it to be in between my waistline and my hip line. So I'm going to measure 3 inches down from my waistline, 3 inches down. Actually, sorry. I'm going to measure 3 inches down from my waistline, and from there I would mark. I want the opening of my pocket. I want it to be 6.5 inches. So I'll mark 6.5 inches down. So 3 inches down from your waistline. Then from the waistline down 6.5 inches. 6.5 inches. So from this 6.5 inches, I'm going to mark in 6. So this will be my pocket opening. Let me just make sure that this is going to be big enough for me. So I'm going to mark in, let's see, 7 inches. You know what? 6.5. Let me mark in 6.5. Draw out a straight line. Straight. I'll just make it a dash line. Okay. So what we need to do now is just make a curve. Make a curve for the pocket like this. So just eyeball it. I'm going to go, my pocket is going to have this. So I'm just marking 1/2 inch from my side seam out. This would help me shape my pocket bag. So I'm going to just go with dash lines like this for now. And this is where I just shape my bag like that. Let's see if so you can do all these test runs, see if your hand, if this would fit your hand, if you stretch out your hand like this. I think this is good. This is a good size for me. So I'm just going to draw out my pocket bag now. So that's what my pocket bag looks like. This would be a notch here. This would be another notch here, and the notch is on the 6.5 inch line that I went in like this by 6.5 as well. So I'm just notching these sides. I'm going to notch these sides. So the reason why I'm notching is so that when I'm sewing, I'm able to arrange the pocket bags to match the notches. Nothing is moving. I'm also going to put a notch here, at the pocket opening, the beginning of the pocket opening. So 3 notches, 1, 2, at the beginning of the pocket opening, at the end of the pocket opening, and yeah. So that is what our pocket bag is going to look like.